for Google Chrome to see if there's any way I can reduce its.
Okay, we are
Alright.
live. This is the second half of the previous session.
Well, I wouldn't call it a half.
Well, yes. Okay, this is an epilogue to Chapter 20, Part 1.
That sounds good.
I called it 20 and something. So
Nice.
this is Chapter 20 and something.
20.75, 0.66.
So,
20-point pie. Yeah.
Can I get contracts of the 4 directions? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, right? Because they're Sealy, Unsealy, you both can get the base directional course, right?
possibly if you can get someone who knows it to teach it to you.
Oh, I should have asked somebody the last time we were in present-day Sunderland to do that.
You would have to find out who knows it and get them to agree to teach it to you, which is going to be hard. I won't get your hopes set on it because I know who has that, and they don't want anyone else to have it. I'm not saying.
Not saying. Be in one of the seasonal or the directional course.
Oh. I think I'll just raise my weird then.
I think raising your weird would be a wonderful idea.
I'll do it right now.
You'll do it right now. Okay. So, the second you're back, there's kind of a warm breeze picks up, and Benji and Lauren back yet, so we can let a little time pass, and the light flickers a little bit. It's almost like everything's a little off kilter. Do you remember when she said sometimes when I make things happen, things get a little off? Everything seems a little off now. Like the breeze will gust quite heavily for a few minutes and then it'll just die down and everything will be deathly, deathly still. Or the sun will be shining very brightly and then all of a sudden there's a spatter of rain from the sky and then back to sun. And the chirping of the birds almost seems to hiccup now and then. Everything's just a little off, as if the invisible elves who run the universe are slightly distracted by heavy thoughts. So, do you guys just set off silently, or are there conversations you want to have?
Do we know what direction we're heading in?
Duncan does. And we can say that Benji and Laura are going to meet you at the next place. That's how we'll explain that.
We are not surprised that Benji and Laura took their time in returning.
We're going north.
Well, you know,
But Danny's not going to say
there might have been some vital task that needed to be completed. You don't know.
They're probably on a reconnaissance mission right now.
You don't know that it was Laura down there, so you don't know. You know Benji's not back.
Uh-huh.
But do you ask the lady about it, or do you just leave him?
All I know is they're probably not sleeping together.
It would perhaps be wisest not to speculate, at least not out loud.
Well, what's dawn? I mean, we've been here for a few hours, and Benji still doesn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we let him catch up?
He is safe. I can help him find you again, if it would help.
Sure, if that's what he wants.
There's kind of a feeling of gentle amusement, she says. The next happens later, much later. There's a traveler on the road. And time seems to almost speed up around you. You see leaves fall from the trees. And I'm assuming you're plodding along, dragging the cart, and Danny is looking down from above. Who is calling? Matthew. Okay, I will invite him.
What the hell?
I will invite Matthew.
Maybe he wanted the link to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does anyone have the YouTube link? Oh wait, hang on. I think I can get the YouTube link from here. Copy, paste. There we go. All right. I believe that's handled. So you're heading down the road, and at the side of the road is a figure you recognize. It's Journey's End. And he looks different.
I put the cart down and walk straight up to him.
Okay, he's carrying a bundle over his shoulder. And he says, I was told you were gathering the dead.
We are.
I'll walk with you then.
How did it go?
He kind of gives this sign, he said. There was more time.
It didn't work?
It did. I waited and I found her that night. And I told her everything. And when the cholera came, we fled the city. I took her to Bristol and then to London. And in June, we put up the bands. And we had a season. We had a season before the cholera came to London.
Is that? That's her. Well, I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I'm going to take care of my side of the bargain now.
Like I said, I'll walk with you. Sometimes I still hear her voice outside my window. I know it's just my imagination, but even if it is a dream, it's a comforting one.
Good.
I must look so strange to you. I was so much younger then. And he does look older. He looks weathered. And one of his arms is completely replaced. Like, you can tell it's made out of different stuff. It's like, it's bolted together with bits of wire and string. It's barely there.
Does it look
It's
like
not
look
very-
like it's? Is it working all right?
Not really. It's kind of just hanging on his side. It's not your craftsmanship. Although, it looks similar to yours, actually, now that you're looking at it. It's not, it's kind of half-assed.
Who fixed your arm?
Don't you know?
Things are strange. Times are.
Oh, you almost had me there for a minute, old friend. I never know what you're going to remember when I see you.
Oh.
Anyway, we've miles to go yet. Bye.
No rest for the wicked.
No rest for anyone. Do you know who we're doing this for?
I don't know. She has so many names. I'm doing this for you.
I thank you for that.
Well,
You just keep going. And after a little while, it starts to get hot. Very, 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 very hot. And his timbers start to creak. And Danny goes whooshing up as your ride is carried on an updraft of hot air, and she just woo, and she starts going wee, and trilling in delight as she's soaring on all of these updrafts, because everywhere there's warmth, and you guys can tell that time is kind of quick everywhere off the road. You see little villages being built and being torn down. You see people, creatures living out their lives on either side of the road, and none of it seems important. And actually, a few times, someone will comment, maybe we should leave the road, and it's always Cold Lad that says, no, we can't leave the road. He kind of looks at Jack for confirmation. Whenever Kyrie starts to go skittering off the road, it's him who, like, gathers her back.
Good
and you
man.
almost feel like,
Good man.
He kind of nods, and it's clear that your approval means something to him now. He always goes and grabs her, and he'll sit on the cart for a little while and keep her in his lap until she falls asleep. So it's almost like time is passing, but you don't really get hungry, and it's all sort of in a dream. And when you do get hungry, there will just happen to be a tree on the side of the road. It'll just be there. And whenever you're thirsty, there will be a little spring, close enough to touch. Everything just sort of happens. It's all still a little off kilter, as if the path before you can be built by the time you walk it, but just barely, and it's never very polished. But all your needs are provided for, and you don't seem to get tired. Time passes, and
should I consider some of my
oh yes,
wounds gone then?
Absolutely. Actually, okay. I've been thinking about how I described it. If you want to roll to figure stuff out about his arm, you can definitely do that.
Would that be craft intelligence, or?
I think that sounds about perfect. Yes,
Okay.
Intelligence to analyze something, crafts to analyze it through a very specific lens. Yes, I realized I described it very badly, and I would like to redo that.
No, that's fine. Does it count as automata?
Yes,
Okay, great.
because it is an artificial part made to be part of a living creature.
Totally. Okay, that's spectacular. So that gives me 2 successes.
Okay, with 2 successes, parts of it look like the work you want to be able to do. Like if you were where you want to be at as a craftsperson, that's what you would make. Some parts of it. Other parts look like they were bolted on by an amateur. So if you were looking at something a master craftsperson made that had then been used and abused and repaired by someone who didn't know what the fuck they were doing, that's maybe about what this would look like.
Oh, okay.
That makes
so
a
you-
lot of more sense. I
Alright.
described it as a cohesive whole, but it's really not. But you see parts that are brilliant and amazing, and then you see other parts that are like, oh, hey, there are wires exposed, I better put some duct tape on that.
Right.
But it's
Okay.
definitely a thing that has been used and is not quite working well anymore.
Well, if we have time to put back a bottle of whiskey, I'll fix that up while we're doing it.
All right. It's getting hot. It's very hot.
It is.
Do you know why?
No, I don't. But the Lady of the Stars, when she changes weird things happen in the hedge. Duncan, do you know what is making it so hot?
He just kind of snaps to, would he know what's going on? Or is this one of those, not
Pretty
even
much what he
he's
said,
not...
like, this sometimes happens when great amounts of power are being
Oh, so this
expended.
is something he recognizes, but doesn't know why he
Possibly.
recognizes.
Things like this, basically, like, big environmental changes tend to go along with her expending lots of energy. If she's defending against a battle, sometimes there's a monsoon. If she has to build a new sun, sometimes there's an ocean where they weren't before. Big changes usually happen when she has to do big things, either because she's exhausted and doesn't have time to, like, manage everything, or because moving things around means that things get moved around.
Yeah, so he would convey this information to them.
Like, sometimes when she's doing some big magic, shit gets kind of crazy.
Actually, I'll paraphrase it. It's like, you know when you do something big, something always changes.
Mm.
We're experiencing that change.
Hey, Danny, do you
Yeah.
think that you could ask the hero to trade the hedge a song for a cool breeze?
Sure. I asked her if she could do that.
My songs are very valuable. Way more than a breeze. My songs are worth a proper nor'easter, at least.
Then I tell her that what if this heat makes me really sick? I'm made for snow. I'm a snowskin as well.
I don't want you to melt. I can't take you home if you're melted. I mean, what would my queen say? She'd say, "What can I do with a melted friend?" No, we can't have that. Is the fire really going to hurt you? And as she says that, you do observe that there is indeed some kind of flickering fire. It kind of looks like, you know, on stage shows when they take flags of red silk, different colors of red and yellow and orange silk, and then they blow air through them to make fire?
Yeah.
It's that, only it's really hot.
Right. I tell her then that yes, it's going to make me really sick.
I don't want that. Well, how about it rains? I like the rain. I used to hunt raindrops, and then I'd take them home. And I'd lay them down, big fat ones, and they'd roll about, just screaming. It was great fun. All right, I'll make this trade, but I'm not doing it for that one down there.
Yes. No, do it for me. Or do it for the mistress. Do it for the queen.
All right. And so she flies up, and she calls out to the wind in this trilling tone. It's almost not words. It's a series of piping notes. But it almost seems like there's more than one note at once.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes a deal with the weather to produce a rainstorm. And then she begins her song. Those of you on the ground, this is beautiful. If you've never heard a mermaid sing, it is the most beautiful thing you've ever heard. If you have, it is almost the most beautiful thing you've ever heard. Although if you have, you're probably not around to hear this one anymore. So it's probably moot. It's like before. It's a series of just trills and arpeggios and just up and down and just crooked scales. Just, it's crazy, but it's beautiful, and there are notes just piled and piled on top of each other. and it's this kind of trilling, fluting sound. And the fire doesn't die down, but it does start to rain. And it rains and rains and rains until you're sloshing through puddles.
Don't call it that word. Ugh.
What?
Sloshing.
Sloshing.
And now Danny is a very wet pussy.
Why, Emmy, language.
Oh, I know. Oh man, that's not ladylike of me. I apologize.
Well, I suppose at this point, Jack or Journey's End are either pulling or pushing the cart.
Yes, Journey's End is definitely helping.
Okay.
But he doesn't lay down his burden. He keeps it over his shoulder, like he's afraid to let go of it.
So he can one hand push it as Jack is pulling through the mud.
That's good. Or they can each take one of the things out in front of it. They can each take one. Instead of Jack just having one in each hand, they can both take one in one hand. Either way, they make their way, and you guys start to hear thumping, like and the world starts to twist up ahead of you. And
I think it's Kyrie.
Kira's excited. She says she's riding on Jack's shoulders right now. She's just banging on his head and going, "Bum, bum, 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 bum." It's loud and rattling inside of his head. You hear it going, "Bum, bum, bum, bum." And it sounds like dozens and dozens and hundreds of little feet tumbling, going down the stairs. Sounds like tiny feet rushing downstairs. And the lady says, "There is crying in the city, and perhaps some good came of it. But there were others who said it was a bit of a shame. So I thought, why not do a bit to make this a little bit better?" And you see before you, as you come up over the crest of the hill, that at the bottom of the hill there is a stage. And there's a door. And something's happening around it. As you get closer, all the little feet, the sounds of all those hundreds of little feet builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up until it's a cacophony. You can't hear anything else. You can't hear each other speak. You can't hear anything but all these little feet running down a stairway right over your head. And then there starts to be cries. And they all sound very young. And they grow. At first it's just one going, "Ah, hi, hi!" And then another, and then another. And the cries are not of indignation, they're of terror. And they build and build and build, and the feet keep coming. It all just keeps on and keeps on and keeps on. And there are more cries. And then the cries start to die away. And the feet die away. And then there are sobs and roars of anger. And the curtains start to open. And there's a pile there for you to take.
Of more bodies?
All of them children.
Oh God.
Did you just kill all these children?
Me?
They sounded quite alive on the other side of the curtain.
They were quite alive before they died.
But what did we just hear?
That was what happened.
The thumping and screaming? That was the cholera?
No. Just an echo.
What killed them?
They did.
Who is they?
It's a door. It's very clearly a door that you pass through. It's not these things are here in the head. You're seeing them right here.
Okay.
But the things themselves, the bodies themselves, are on the other side.
Is that the waking world over there, or the
Yes.
far place?
That is not my land. That is the city by the sea.
I don't think we have room to move all these right now.
You didn't think you had room for all of the cholera bodies, but you did.
Maybe we can lash them on top.
I thought they were just piled like really high.
They are. If you look at the pile, like you are just seeing the pile there, right? But it's clear that there's a door to something, and it's represented. The door is represented by the curtain and the theater. And it doesn't look like a. I don't know how closely you're observing the curtain and the theater, but so this is the door that you're seeing.
Well, in for a penny.
So you
Chuck will
pass
head
through the door.
He'll head towards the door, unless somebody tries to stop him.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. What did I miss?
You have more bodies to collect.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's okay, they're all very little ones.
I sure hope we get Kyrie back. This is a
Yeah.
lot more than I was expecting.
She's yeah.
But at least you know she didn't do it.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
What?
That's good.
She doesn't it's very quiet and still, like before. And you pass into a church that was very obviously quickly turned into a place to lay things out. Everything was, the chairs were pushed up against the wall, and there are bodies laid out.
It's just like a farmer's market.
Yes, it's the farmer's market of dead kids.
Awesome.
Yes, that's
This is
exactly what
amazing.
it is.
That's where you go to pick up
There
your
is
dead kids.
someone sleeping. There are a few people sitting against the walls, kind of in gestures of repose, as if they just laid their head down for a minute. Most of them are holding a book with sheets of paper over it, like they're keeping some kind of list.
Are
They
they
all look.
checking it twice?
Yes, they all look like they're not having a very good day. They are drawn, and they look like they're traumatized. But they're all sleeping, and most of them are holding lists on their laps.
None of the live ones, huh?
All the adults in the room are sleeping.
Yeah. No, I was just suggesting to the rest of the group that none of the live ones go in the cart.
Oh, well, right.
You can tell who's breathing, but they don't wake up. They don't wake up. They don't seem to. And
Can I check to see if the ones that might be alive are actually alive?
everything that's breathing also has a pulse, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
stuff that Duncan will obviously be able to tell the difference between.
All the people who are laid out are juvenile, and judging just by this place, there are over 100.
So, looking at their clothes, does it still look like it's 1840s?
It doesn't look like the 1830s. How much do you know about fashion through history?
He knows history more than fashion.
It looks a little different. Let's just say the dresses of the adult women are a little bit different. Their hair is a little bit different.
Are we in a church?
Yes.
Can we tell is a Catholic church? That is something Jack would be able to know.
I don't know which one it is.
Okay.
I made it up just for the purpose of the scene.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to sort of figure out
You
what I'm
can say
looking
that it's Holy Trinity, since I'm playing fast and loose with history already.
Okay, sure.
But the fact that the entrance was through a theater may also be a clue. You can examine the gate too. You can examine the theater that you walked through to get here.
Okay.
Okay.
What would that examination look like?
Are you asking what to roll?
Yeah.
Just intelligence and intelligence and wits. What's intelligence?
Like
I don't
it's-
know. Academics, whatever you want.
Academics? Yeah.
Sure.
That would make sense.
That would make sense.
All right, here comes the chance roll.
Duncan
Yeah.
clearly doesn't care.
Okay.
Failure.
Well, Jack got it. 1 success.
Okay. It is not a modern theater at all. There are certain things like the way the stage is built that is not modern. For example, there are no all the pulleys for the sets. None of them are electric. There are no motors.
Right. So we're
Actually,
still
no.
in the past.
Right. But the clothes are a little bit different, and you see a playbill for a show that you remember when it came out, and it wasn't, and that you remember is coming out in like the late 1800s.
It's an old one.
Yes, it's old.
Like
Actually,
a
I'll just
like
say there's
vaudeville
like
type thing.
it has a reference to a historical event that happens in like 18. I'm gonna say it refers to Queen Victoria.
Okay. Well, Jack is going to pick up the playbill and throw it into his sack.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, it references some. We could say it references some historical figure like Disraeli or something that came a little later than you were before. But it's clear that you're still in the past, but you're not in the same section of past. A little later. Yeah, like I said, the hair is a little different. You see a lot more on the people who are working. You see more lace. You see hair jewelry, and you see mourning jewelry on
Let's
them.
see. So, any of you guys know Sunderland history?
Where?
Not at all.
No,
Okay.
pretty sure I don't.
You need Benji for that.
All right. Well, I'm curious, just when we are and what would have killed these children. But they don't look burned; they look sick, right?
They look. Some of them don't. Some of them don't have many marks on them, except for like a blueness. Some of them have bruises, contusions on them. You can make a medicine roll.
Nope.
I will always make a medicine roll.
Yes, any of you can make a medicine roll.
Oh, I can.
What exactly is a medicine roll? Like, what is it? About?
Wits in medicine.
Okay.
But it's a mental skill, so untrained, it's like -3.
Didn't you change that to -1 only? Just to make it flat across the board?
Did I?
Yeah, I think that's what the wiki said. I mean, I could be wrong here.
-1. Whatever, I don't care.
I got 4
okay.
successes. If we're still doing that, 10s are.
Oh, wow, 4 successes? Okay. Some of them suffocated, some were crushed.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother rolling.
Wow.
They
If you
were
share this-
These were pre-softened.
Pre-softened. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh, James.
Like, there's a.
I think the word you're looking for is tenderized.
Oh, wow.
That, okay, yeah. Someone tenderized
That's out of
them.
That's out of character, by the way.
Oh, I hope so.
Duncan wouldn't be that crude.
Hmm.
Okay.
Plus, that's
So-
not a very elegant word.
Are they sooty or oily?
Neither.
Neither.
They're dressed up, actually.
Oh, they've
Quite
been
a lot
cleaned
of
up.
them.
Right. Okay.
Look, even if their clothes are poor, it looks like most of them are dressed to do something fun. There aren't any muddy clothes, or they don't look like they've been playing outside all day. They look like they dressed up to go somewhere. Even the ones that are obviously very poor children are wearing the best thing a poor child has.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's get them in the cart.
Get them in. It takes a while. It takes a couple hours, and no one wakes up. The whole time. All maybe 150, if you're counting. Something like that. All go into the cart, and they all fit.
It's almost like it's been magically enhanced
Wait,
or something.
150 bodies?
Just here.
Holy.
And in the surrounding rooms, yes.
Like I said, it's almost like the cart's been magically enhanced or something.
Changeling bullshit!
Bum, bum, bum.
That's our
And it's a good
catchphrase.
thing, too, because otherwise you guys would have to build like 5 new carts at least.
At least.
Mules. We need to bring mules into the hedge.
You're like, and then we need an oxen, and then we started dying of dysentery. Wait, what?
Does it make the cart heavier?
Huh?
Does it make the cart heavier? Like, does it
Yes,
become...
but not as much as you think.
Okay.
Like, noticeably heavier each time, but still not impossible.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hero,
Practical, you guys.
will you let Danny help us?
Danny, would it
Yeah.
make them be nicer to me if I helped?
Yes.
Without hesitation.
Yeah.
Alright.
He'd probably be a little bit nicer.
Then we'll both help.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it makes me sad that they're so small.
Thank you.
That's strange.
Mm.
They're kids.
Actually, I'm going to say this when everyone started examining the bodies. This is probably the most emotional response that you've gotten out of Duncan, because he just gets up and leaves. He just goes back to the door.
He's just like, nope, I'm out.
Yep.
I'm out.
He's like, nope. He can't handle it.
He must have lost his appetite.
Well, some were just not built to labor, I suppose.
He goes back to the door and holds it open. That's all he's doing here, because he's kind of tired of that shit.
Danny feels some sympathy, but she's not gonna go and like try to talk to him or anything like that, or show any like comforting things. She's still like I got my eye on you, man.
And the hero helps.
The hero. Their name
She's
is
staying on
changed.
the other side of the room from.
Yeah.
She avoids getting too close to Jack.
Again, this is hilarious because she's like putting all this distance between her and Jack, and then you look at Duncan, who's literally already struck someone down for betraying.
Jack will have at some point during this trip, I forgot to mention it, say to Journey's End, she's a pledged loyalist. Keep your eye on her.
What? And you haven't killed her yet.
I wanted to, but she's holding a companion hostage.
Yep.
We pledged her hard. If I had it my way, we would do it different. Not always the case.
It's no
She's
way
one of
to
the
go
White
about-
Queens. Benji, you know the dog, man? He thinks
Yes.
that he can turn her. For now, there's nothing I can do. I told her
Have
that I
you
will
never seen one of them talk straight?
talk straight.
Yeah, you know, about back.
Oh, head back?
Hmm.
I don't know. I think they all want to.
Well, I'm rather glad we tried, with Mary at least.
Oh, you mean come back to our side?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he's trying. I just figured I'd warn you, because we don't know how things look.
I'll keep an eye.
Yeah.
Although, if I had my way, I'd handle it differently. Wait, you said you were promised.
I said that she was pledged hard. But my side of the pledge is that if she hurts any of you, that I'll hunt her. And I'll make her pay. That's
I've
my
not made
pledge.
any promises.
No, not you. You're not pledged.
That's true, he isn't.
He kind of gives this look. He gives you a meaningful look. You know the score. He knows the score. He's basically saying, like, well,
My hands are tied.
I think I understand. Well, you've done me a kindness, and I think you'd do one again if I'd earned it.
I would. Maybe if it comes to it. Yeah, I absolutely would.
Right.
Not the kindness, the deed that would earn it. If you get my drift.
He looks down at his body, which is made of driftwood, and looks at you like he's trying to figure out if you made a bad pun or not, and is just like...
Jackal sort of chills.
He's just like, God damn it, puns, what? Okay. And yeah, so grave mistake helps diligently once she decides to do it. And lets the chain out a little bit so that both of you can work together. And if you're willing to work with her, then you guys are able to work more efficiently together.
I'm willing to.
Spectacular.
Awesome. And yeah, and it takes hours, but eventually the job is done. And now you have a cart full of dead kids. Yay!
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
Lily's kind of looking at it like it's the best buffet ever.
Ah,
It's like I've never seen.
So is Lily gonna have a snack?
Not from any of the new corpses.
so no cholera people, no eating cholera people, no eating dead kids.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the person from before died from cholera, I suppose.
You could still eat Cadence you'd have to dig down to get to it at this point.
She's
But
way down there.
she's way down there.
But we have Journey's End here, and that's just not a good idea.
Well, it could be back. It could be worse. We're just like, standing there going on about our journey, and all of a sudden we hear from the pile, "Get me out of here!"
I'm trying to decide if that should happen.
What, that Cadence comes back to life?
What do you think, Kenneth?
That's pretty tempting. Because at this point, I'm thinking I might stop using Duncan after the volume's over because his purpose will be served.
It's not having happen this session, but we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll say everyone's just like thinks they hear a voice, and they're like,
Swamp gas.
Yes. Swamp gas. There was a weather balloon, and yes. And you pass back through the theater after the work is done. And as you pass through, it's like something flickers, and the people in the room start to wake and rub their eyes. And then the door falls away. The curtains close. And hear just one lonely set of footsteps walking down a flight of stairs. And then a sigh.
Did we miss one?
What did she say?
Did
What
we
did he?
miss one?
Did we miss them?
Did we
Good
miss
night,
one?
James.
Night,
Good night.
James.
Alright.
Good night, James. Actually, I was thinking. Let's see. No, I think that's about all.
Cool.
So we had a good hour there, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do we
You guys
still need to do something later for like what you were saying about Danny?
We can do that thing next session.
Okay.
Okay. You continue forward. The load gets heavier and heavier and heavier. After a while, it's weird. It's almost like you set out from the theater, and the more you think about and consider it. And by the way, Journey's End is carefully tracking the movements of the one above them, as I'm sure you are too.
Mm-hmm.
And Duncan rejoins. And
Duncan's also... He seems a bit farther away from the cart than he used to be.
okay, does he stay on the road?
Yes.
Okay. There's only so much farther I can take you, Duncan.
I know.
Are you all right?
Wait. Oh, are you alright?
Yes, are you all right?
No.
You'll be able to come back again.
This is just... What just transpired just brought back memories from my old life. I much sooner rather forget.
Old life.
Sorry, not my old life, but my mortal life.
Ah,
That's what he would have said.
there's not much longer. Things are getting harder now.
Safe travels, my friend.
What will you do?
I guess I'll wander the path.
I'll try to give you what you want at the end of the road, Duncan. I'll do my best. But no matter what, I thank you for walking it.
My hands are too soiled to accept any gift.
As you will. Either way, I'll toss you once more again. Try to take care of them. And her too. She's one of mine, at least for a little while yet. I'll be as sad to lose her as I will be to lose you.
He didn't laugh at it. This is me just going, yeah, she knows his philosophy on trust.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
not exactly lenient.
Yes, but she's specifically asking you to take good care of her and be like, she's one of mine for a little while.
Cripple. Actually, he's gonna specifically say, I only crippled her.
That's right. She has a job to do too, just as you do. See, she's not mad. She's disappointed.
Uh-huh.
Aw.
And Jack hears her voice, and she says, "Can you fix her?
Who?
The one that was broken. She's moving slowly and she's unhappy."
The one with one arm?
No.
The
No,
the one with a broken arm.
the one of mine.
No one would, if I took a dagger to the knee.
Do you mean the girl, Laura, or Duncan?
Yes, the girl.
Ah,
She
yeah,
almost kind of hesitates. She's like, "Is that a girl?" Yes. It's almost like she's flipping through a book to figure out the proper words for things, and there's like, "Yes, that's it. Okay."
That is a
Um,
female, yes.
When she walks the street, she walks so slowly.
Is she dying?
I don't know.
Benji might be better at fixing her. My methods are drastic.
Oh.
But
Well, I'm sure
I
the
could
two
do
of
what I can. She
Thank you.
certainly. Of course.
you always do good work for me.
What do you mean?
I like it.
Good, but I haven't.
The things you make, they last.
How? Jack is confused.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We will-
All
I
right.
think confusion is the proper response to the conversation.
Yeah. Jack sort of
Anyway.
scratches his head plate, and he's like, "Good. I'm glad that you appreciate my work."
Of course. Helped me greatly. It's going to cost. What's coming next? And I suppose I'd like her to make it to the end of the road.
Is it? Are we talking about the burying of these bodies in the churchyard?
Mm-hmm.
Take some time.
Well, time. She
Right.
expects you to laugh. Like she thinks she just made a very funny joke and she's waiting for you to laugh. Well, time.
Right. But it costs more than time, huh?
Yes.
Anything that we can be prepared for beforehand?
Jack, I've done what I thought best. Always. And all ways. There's a little bit more. And I'm sorry, because in the end I think it didn't help at all.
Well, there's always hope.
Hope. That's right. Even when there can't be laughter, there can be that. And I'll need to take some of yours with me, I think.
Some of which, my hope?
Could I?
No, lady, it's not for sale. You'd have to take the whole thing. And by that, I mean... And he sort of bangs his chest.
I see.
Hope's all I got. Hope, memories, dreams, and nightmares. That's it. A blackened old skull.
A skull. That's right, there's that too. And the hope. I think I can do something with that. and then you hear this, the wind picks up. And you know how if, like tape going a bit bad, like it's the picture just starts to go,
Yeah.
that starts to happen a little bit.
Oh.
Or as if it's a paper that's crinkling at the edges.
Yeah.
And the road behind you, you almost see it sort of ripple and buckle. And then her voice breaks off as if distracted. When she comes back, she sounds a little more far away, a little crackly, and she says, I'll stay with you as long as I can.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think that's where we'll end tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna stop.
Cool.
Unless anyone has something they want to say, do.
Nope.
All right. Stop the broadcast. Bye, viewer.
Bye.
Bye.